Have you ever had this experience? Late at night, sound asleep. Suddenly, you can't move. Not a dream. You're wide awake, but your whole body feels pinned down. Can't even lift an eyelid. Most people call it sleep paralysis, right? Medicine calls it sleep paralysis too. They say your brain wakes up, but your body doesn't catch up. Sounds very scientific, very reassuring, but today's story might make you think twice. Can science really explain everything? Some everything, and science really explain everything. Just we enlighten to freighted. Hi everyone, I'm Lao Kao. Today's protagonist is Linji Hamisao, a designer at an ad agency, the typical overtime slave. He never believed in ghosts or gods since childhood, a total materialist. He'd even explain special effects makeup while watching horror movies. But last winter, a series of events cracked the certainty he'd built over Hamisao years. It started on a very ordinary night. That night, Lindsay got home from overtime around Pima. He rents an old walk-up, 6 floors, no elevator. Stairwell lights a motion sensor, 1 cough per floor, 1 stomp per landing. He lives on the 5th floor. The 2 neighbors, one travels for work, one moved out. The whole floor, just him. Shower, bed, scroll phone, lights out. Same routine as every night. But that night, he woke up, fully conscious, but completely paralyzed. He could feel his eyeballs moving under his lids, hear his own breathing, even feel the weight of the blanket. Arms, legs, fingers, couldn't move a single one. His chest felt like a boulder was on it. Breathing was hard. Linji thought to himself, sleep paralysis. He'd heard about it from coworkers. He didn't panic too much, tried to relax and wait for his body to recover. But in that process, he noticed something that made his hair stand on end. The back of his neck had cold air, not a draft. This cold was rhythmic, one puff, then another. Like someone was breathing slowly, right behind his head. That cold air didn't match his own breathing rhythm. When he inhaled, it stopped. When he exhaled, it blew in. Like something was lying behind him, mimicking his breath. But not quite. Picture it, Lindsay, he stayed at that moment. Can't move, can't open his eyes. Something unknown is breathing on the back of his neck. Fear piled up layer by layer, from his back to his scalp, all numb. He tried with all his might to open his eyes, roll over, yell. Couldn't do anything. After who knows how long, the cold suddenly vanished. His body jolted free, like a rubber band snapping. He could finally move. Linji sat up and turned on the bedside lamp. The light came on. Nothing in the room. The curtains weren't fully closed. Streetlight leaked in, casting a line on the opposite wall. Was 70 days aimed since any man downwash, just him in bed. Pillow still there. His girlfriend's plush dog, propped against a headboard. Everything normal. As normal as it gets. But that someone behind you feeling was all too real. The next day, Linji looked it up online. All results pointed to sleep paralysis. Stress, disrupted sleep, brain awake but body asleep. Hallucinations. He thought about it. He had been working like crazy lately. Clients changing demands 8 times a day. Stress was through the roof. Hallucinations made sense. With that logic, he didn't dwell on it. Daylight hits. Subways packed. Who thinks about midnight stuff? But the next night, it came again. Pretty much the same routine. Except this time he wasn't woken by cold air on his neck. It was the weight on his chest. He snapped his eyes open. This time he could open his eyes, but still couldn't move. He looked down at his chest. Nothing visible. But that area felt pinned by something heavy and invisible. The weirdest part, he felt the temperature. The thing pressing on his chest. Thing pressing on. Woody, the seats out, kissing, shade, but it's the because was cold. Was cold, and brain was asking us a second. We should keep out in nowadays, worry chasing down. 10 to 开始呗 Novinces television analytics. Meeting my get a CD editing king. Decision on by upward sin. Sound policy. Yabi. Daddy, you want to wait at and then. Who is cold. That cold seeped through the blanket, through his pajamas, into his skin. He tried desperately to push it off. His arms wouldn't lift. He tried to yell. His throat felt stuffed with cotton. Just as he was about to suffocate, the pressure vanished, like the night before, gone as suddenly as it came. Linji sat up, gasping, cold sweat all over his back. He looked down at his chest. She couldn't see anything through his pajamas, but when he lifted his shirt, he froze. He froze, right in the center of his chest. Between the pectoral muscles, a small bruise. Pale blue, hurt when pressed. That wasn't right. Can a dream leave a bruise? That's how it can be. Can a hallucination bruise your chest? Sinti, run speaks in these sector. With easy guess. Antidote dan ban la de de. Cool went in attention bruise your chest. His first thought. Maybe he'd rolled onto something hard, but he searched the bed. Nothing that could cause that. He started to get creeped out. 2 nights in a row. Linji didn't go home the 3rd night. He booked a private room at an internet cafe near his office. Lights on. Game sounds. People chatting. Way better than his empty apartment. 2 nights at the cafe. Nothing happened. Please until on stay, but he couldn't live there forever. Andy, $80 a night, and he was dead tired at work. His boss had already hinted at it. Linji found himself an excuse. Sleep with the lights on. Then, wages. Horror movies as a kid always said, light keeps the bad stuff away. On the 4th night, he went home, turned on every light in the apartment. Vanitas, living room, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, bright as day. He even bought a bottle of liquor, took a couple shots for courage. To send, the alcohol hit, sleep followed, he passed out, lights on, clothes on, clothes on. In the middle of the night, he was woken by a force. Not pressure this time. It was dragging. His body slid across the sheets, his back scraping the fabric, making a rustling sound. Something grabbed his ankles, pulling him toward the foot of the bed. He panicked, reached for the headboard, the pillow, anything. His fingers hooked onto the edge of the headboard, held on tight, knuckles white. The force pulling his ankles was immense. His grip slipped, fingernails scraping against the wood. And like the 2 previous times, the force suddenly stopped. The force suddenly stopped, let go instantly, like a stretched rubber band, suddenly snapping. Linji slammed back onto the bed, the springs groaning. Gasping, he scrambled to the headboard, back against the wall, pulling the blanket over himself, staring at the foot of the bed. The lights were still on. The whole room was bright, nothing there. But the feeling on his ankles was real. My Desmond says, and that tail continues that intended as shoot up boys, in Dolce Casa, and that to buy choose somewhat in more. Funny, they was better ball. He looked down at his right ankle. There were faint red marks, like something had squeezed hard. Had a right Jim, one shoot a night in the but the marks were fading visibly, gone within seconds. He didn't sleep a wink that night. Sat against the wall till dawn. Nodding what she was, listening to the city wake up, birds, street vendors, until full daylight before he dared get out of bed. At this point, Linji knew he couldn't keep blaming stress. 3 nights in a row, each time worse. First night, breathing. Second, chest pressure. Third, ankle pulling. If this pattern continued, what would the 4th night bring? He didn't want to think about it. He didn't want to think about it. He took the day off and went to the hospital. Sleep clinic, neurology, EEG, EKG, MRI, full workup. Everything normal. His health was better than most people his age. The doctor gave him sleeping pills and said it would improve his sleep quality. Leaving the hospital, Linji stood at the entrance, hesitating. Finally, he took a cab to the city god temple. In the alley nearby, there's a tiny, unassuming clinic. Small storefront, faded sign. When Linji walked in, there was an old man, maybe 60, feeding ham sausage to an orange cat. The old man looked up. Before Linji could speak, the old man said, "Young man, you haven't been sleeping well lately, have you?" That one sentence almost broke Linji. He told the old man everything. He told the old man everything. The old man listened, didn't mention ghosts, but asked a bunch of questions. When did it start? How long each time? How's your energy during the day? Headaches, dizziness, recent stress. On any medication? After that, the old man paused, then asked something Linji didn't expect. Did you ask about the previous tenant before renting? Linji said no. He'd rented it in a hurry. Good location, cheap price, signed right away. The old man nodded, didn't push further. He turned and pulled something from behind the counter. Not a talisman, not a ritual tool, just a small bronze mirror, palm-sized. Looked like the kind you'd buy at a flea market, for bammy bucks. Take this. Hang it at the head of your bed. Some voice, and sleep with your head facing the mirror. Linji took the mirror, examined it, nothing special. Master, will this work? The old man said something that made his heart skip. The mailman said something that made his heart skip. Whether it works or not isn't about the mirror. It's about you. It's about you. If you believe it works, it might work. Sounds harmless now. Would Lindsay state at the time. After 3 nights of paralysis and 3 hospitals with no answers, he was ready to believe anything. He put the mirror in his pocket and went home. In his home, following instructions, he hung it on the wall at the head of his bed, then lay down with his head toward the headboard, which meant facing the mirror. Lying down, he could see his upper body in the mirror. Under the light, his face in the mirror looked familiar, yet slightly unfamiliar. Maybe it was the angle. His eye sockets seemed deeper, his skin grayer than usual. With the bronze mirror, Lenji felt a bit more at ease. After days without proper sleep, his body was spent, soon dozed off. But that night, he woke again. She woke again. Same feeling, mind sharp, body frozen. But this time, he could see, not with his eyes open, but in some limbo state between sleep and waking. He could see the whole room. But he saw the clock, past bomb. He saw the ceiling light, the wall, the light from the curtains. And then he saw himself in the bronze mirror. His reflection, eyes closed, lying in bed, face looked peaceful. What above his body? Nothing. No shadowy figure. No human shape, just him in the mirror. Linji stared at the mirror for a while, then he noticed another detail. His reflection. Eyes were open wide. Staring straight out of the mirror. At him. But in reality, his own eyes were closed. How to describe this? You're lying in bed. You know your eyes are shut. But in the mirror, you see your eyes open. Those 2 eyes are staring at you through the glass. Your brain gets 2 conflicting messages at once. One from touch, my eyes are closed. One from sight, I see my eyes are open. My eyes are open. Those 2 messages fight in your head and breed terror. Linji tried to yell. No sound. Twitch. Couldn't move. He could only watch as the face in the mirror, identical to his but with open eyes, slowly curled its mouth. In the mirror. And said, like an state, in the one of them saying he was smiling. Then the force vanished. Like before, gone as fast as it came. Linji sat up, first thing, not checking the room, but looking at the bronze mirror, still hanging there. Reflecting him, panting, sweating, terrified. In the mirror, he was also panting, sweating, terrified. Everything normal. Moving perfectly in sync with him. That image of the open-eyed smile, as if it never happened. She knew it wasn't a hallucination. He'd seen it clearly. He didn't take the mirror down. Oddly, even though it scared him, after that night, he actually slept a bit more soundly. The pressure was still there, but it didn't escalate. No more dragging, no new tricks. like something was blocking it, couldn't get any further. For days, it stabilized. Every night, sleep paralysis, but limited to being stuck in chest tightness. The extreme stuff, being pulled off the bed, stopped. Linji felt he'd found a balance. Night she found much edit my maintenance, but later to maintain also the same end, still not sleeping great, but at least he got some rest. During the day, he searched the history of his building. Nothing special. Nothing special, but he found something else that chilled him. Nirx, an obscure symptom of sleep paralysis, called mirror hallucinations. Medical literature documents a few cases. Some patients experience specific mirror-related hallucinations during episodes. Usually, seeing your reflection make a different expression or movement than you are. This explanation made him feel a little better. It's in medical literature, a known phenomenon, not supernatural. He decided to keep using the mirror as a placebo. It's an hour. Like the old man said, if you believe it works, it might. It's all psychological. Hansen Dub, not a saying, it's all complicated. Timur, he told himself that. And Wing Sage, he told Shu says. Days passed, over a week. Linji thought he was getting better. Until one night, he got home after overtime, past Modam, exhausted, passed out without even showering. Seeing the bronze mirror still hung at the headboard. He glanced at it out of habit. Everything normal. Lights off. He slept. That night, the paralysis was heavier than before. In his dream-like state, he felt the familiar weight on his chest, making it hard to breathe. But he was used to it now, calmer than before. He told himself in the haze, relax, it'll pass. It'll pass. Then a sound snapped him awake. Then, the sound came from above his head, not from the ceiling. Right next to his ear. The sound had a metallic vibration to it. Like someone tapping a mirror with their finger. Lindsay, his eyes shut open. The room was dark, only a sliver of light from the curtain. Bounce, he still couldn't move, but his eyes could shift. He rolled his eyes upward. The bronze mirror, still on the wall. In dim light, the mirror gleamed faintly. Then he heard a second sound. Not a tap, a laugh. My wings would in Santa Messi, Nogus. They freaking awesome to like it's a month base on it. The mountain Barangalis. So great to a Tennis and Schwasses. And he on datosis, Haman Balmin Groshi, a tiny chuckle, stifled, through the nose, very short. That's the Louise Simsebe Dango. Someone seems that by the back. And did it. So, but the mountain so short, he wasn't sure if he'd heard it, but the direction was unmistakable. From the bronze mirror above him, Lindsay's blood went cold instantly. He stared straight at the mirror. Into dim light, it reflected the ceiling, the light fixture, and a patch of shadow darker than darkness itself, moving slowly inside it. That shadow shape, like a person crouched above his head down, looking at him through the mirror. Another laugh, longer this time, clearer. Linji heard it unmistakably, a woman's voice, coming from inside the mirror, very close, like someone laughing against the back of the glass. Before the laugh faded, the mirror vibrated. Not the whole mirror, the glass itself. The surface, this surface, something knocked it from the inside. This saw a crack appeared from the upper left. Then another knock, a second crack. Third, like something was tapping the glass from inside. Trying to get out. When I was in Linji finally could move. He rolled off the bed, scrambled to the door, turned on the light. The moment the room lit up, all sound stopped. He stood at the door, looking back. The bronze mirror, still on the wall, perfectly intact, no cracks, nothing. But he dared not go near it. He sat on the couch till dawn. Next morning, he took the mirror off the wall. Hesitated, didn't throw it away, wrapped it in a cloth, and shoved it into the deepest corner of the closet. He didn't know why he didn't toss it. Maybe the old man's words still held weight. Maybe subconsciously, he felt it did protect him. Even though it scared him, he hadn't been dragged off the bed again. After hiding the mirror, Lin Ji went to work. Sat at his desk, staring at the screen, mind completely elsewhere. Replaying what he saw and heard, the more he thought, the more unsettled he felt. That laugh wasn't male. Was me, it was female. But the thing he'd felt all along, the one pressing him, pulling his ankles, it always felt genderless. It always genderless, couldn't tell. Couldn't tell. Then who was the woman laughing in the mirror? Suddenly, something clicked. He pulled out his phone and searched his building's address. Scrolling through pages, he found a post from 3 years ago on a local forum. A user asked, "Does anyone know about unit number of this building?" Said a female friend used to rent there, then went missing. Family filed a report, but the case went cold. The thread had no follow-up. The op never replied again. Lin Ji stared at the post for a long time. Did the post for a long time. Then he made a decision. He needed to ask the landlord. After work, he went straight to the landlord's place. The landlord, a middle-aged man in his numbers, he was surprised to see Lin Ji. Asked if something was wrong with the apartment. Lin Ji cut to the chase. "Who lived here before me?" The landlord's expression shifted. Very subtle. Then he now states, velocity. But Lin Ji caught it. The landlord said, "Several tenants." "Which one?" Lin Ji said. "The last one. The one from 3 years ago." The landlord paused a few seconds, then asked, "Have you been experiencing something?" That question caught Lin Ji off guard. He didn't know how to answer. It didn't know how to answer. Say he had sleep paralysis. Say a woman laughed in the mirror. Say two women laughed in the mirror. He'd sound crazy. It sounded crazy. He said nothing. The landlord didn't push, just said, "When that girl left, she didn't take her deposit, or all her things. If you see any of her stuff, just throw it away." Like he said over the phone a few days ago. But this time Lin Ji didn't let it go. He pressed. He pressed. "Why did she leave? Why did she leave?" The landlord's expression was complicated. After a moment, he said, "She's not here anymore." "What does that mean?" "She died in the apartment." The landlord lit a cigarette and took a deep drag. Cardiac arrest. When the ambulance arrived, she was already gone, on the bed in that bedroom. She says, "Police investigated, ruled out homicide. Just sudden death." After that, the place sat empty for a while. "I repainted, changed the furniture, then rented it to you." Lin Ji stood frozen. The landlord spoke casually, like it was old news. Every word hit Lin Ji like a nail. That bedroom, that bed. A young girl died there. Oh yes, what was her name? Lin Ji asked. The landlord thought. I think her surname was Zhang. Zhang what? Zhang Yao. Yes, Zhang Yao. Lin Ji didn't ask further. He left the landlord's place, stood under a streetlight, smoked half a cigarette, hands trembling. He remembered. So on his first day moving in, he'd seen a pink shoebox in the storage room, didn't open it, assumed it was his, and the half-empty expired makeup remover in the bathroom cabinet. The pink dishes in the kitchen. He thought they came with the place. Now he knew. Now he knew they didn't. Mind the by the wisdom, and I've seen it. The second assembly, and evaluate us at sea. They were Zhang Yao's. They were Zhang Yao's, a dead girl's belongings, left behind in the apartment. That night, Lin Ji didn't go back. He found a cheap motel near his office, lying on the motel bed. His mind was a mess. He tried to piece it together. Sleep paralysis, bronze mirror, dead tenant, woman's laugh in the mirror. Woman's laugh in the mirror. Were these connected? Or was he just scared by coincidences, inventing a horror story that didn't exist? If it's the latter, then what about the bruise on his chest, the marks on his ankle? Lin Ji tossed and turned, thinking. Finally, he searched for the name Zhang Yao. Little info, it wasn't a criminal case, so no news coverage, but he found a social account that might be hers. Profile picture, a cartoon cat. Last post, March, 3 years ago. That post had just one sentence. Lately, when I sleep at night, I keep feeling like someone's watching me, probably just overthinking it. Accompanied by a photo taken from the bedroom. In the photo, the wall at the head of the bed, a hook on the wall, with a bronze mirror hanging from it. Identical to the one he had. Lindsay, his heart skipped. He zoomed in, studied the bronze mirror. Low resolution, but the mirror reflected the ceiling and the light. And the person taking the photo, Zhong Yao herself, holding up her phone, standing in the mirror. She smiled faintly, the standard selfie expression. In the corner of the photo, deep in the mirror's background, a blurry shape. Very blurry, hard to make out, like a figure standing at the bedroom door, reflected in the mirror. Zhong Yao clearly didn't notice when she took the photo, or if she did, she didn't care. After all, poor lighting, the shape was too faint to see clearly. Easy to dismiss as a trick of the light. Lin Ji saved the photo. He zoomed in and out, studying that blurry shape. The more he looked, the more it looked like a person. Standing at the bedroom door, facing the bed, facing Zhong Yao. He shut off his phone, closed his eyes, tried to calm down. The motel room was small, thin walls. He could hear the TV from the next room, footsteps in the hallway. Those sounds actually comforted him. People nearby? Have some space. Not alone. Not alone. But just as he was about to drift off, he heard a sound from the door direction, like a fingernail lightly scraping wood. Mudly scraping wood. Then silence. Then silence. The footsteps in the hallway stopped. The TV next door turned off. The world suddenly fell into dead silence. Lin Ji held his breath, eyes wide, staring at the door. The motel door had a peephole. And a motel booby. The motel beast. The fishing lens collected the hallway light into a tiny dot. In the dark, Lin Ji could see that dot flickering. It shouldn't flicker. Unless something was moving on the other side, blocking the hallway light. Lin Ji slowly pulled the blanket over himself, wrapped himself head to toe. Head to toe, Race ambatin daman. Slater to toe. He didn't know what was outside. He didn't know who the woman in the mirror was. He didn't know how Zhong Yao died. He didn't know what the bronze mirror really was. He didn't know how Zhong Yao died. He didn't know what the bronze mirror really was. He didn't know what the bronze mirror really was. He only knew one thing. Whatever this all was. It wasn't over. When dawn came, Lin Ji made a decision. He'd go to the city god temple again. He would confront the old man. What was the deal with the bronze mirror? Zhong Yao's photo had a bronze mirror too. That meant the old man gave her one too. And she died. And she died. What happened in between? He had to find out. She used as a He rushed to the alley. The clinic was locked. The clinic was locked. The neighbor selling incense poked her head out, looked at him, and said, "Don't bother waiting." The old man moved away. Lin Ji asked when. She thought about a week ago. Suddenly gone without a word. A week ago. Exactly the day after Lin Zi's first visit. Lin Ji asked if she knew where he went. Had a contact. She shook her head. Said he kept to himself. Didn't interact. Then she added, "You came to him for sleep issues, right?" You're not the first. You got the first. There was another girl before you. You. Sobs. Never heard from her again. Was it a girl surnamed Jiang? Lin Ji pressed. The neighbor's expression shifted. How did you know? How did you know? Lin Ji didn't answer. He thanked her and left the alley. The sun hit him. Winter sun. bright but not warm, walking down the street. A string in his mind was tight, very tight. Jiang Yao visited the old man, got a mirror. Then she died. He visited the old man, got a mirror. The old man vanished the day after he went. These events, too much to be coincidence. He pulled out his phone, looked at Jiang Yao's selfie again. And this time, he scanned every inch of it. The hook at the headboard, the mirror, Jiang Yao holding her phone, and that blurry figure in the background, at the door. Then he noticed something he'd missed before. That figure looked like a man's build, but it was too blurry. Just a hunch. He stared until his eyes ached, couldn't find more. Cold air filled his lungs, slightly clearer. Slightly clearer. He told himself, maybe there's nothing supernatural here. Hey, Jiang Yao died of cardiac arrest. Rising ways, the same as police and hospital confirmed it. Cheng he had sleep paralysis. Naughty note. Assistance City Down and Davis Valley. And somebody night, in his own 3 hospitals, all clear. And is Shantilis, Anandati, in Abu Lindis and the bronze mirror, just a psychological tool. The old man, just an old man. His disappearance, a coincidence. The figure in the photo, just light refraction. His mind filling in the blanks. Every explanation made sense. Everyone had scientific backing. Everyone was 10,000 times more rational than a woman's ghost in a mirror. And you see, he was still scared. Lenji went back to the motel, packed up. He decided to return to the apartment. Though, not because he was braver. But because he realized, whatever this was, running wouldn't help. Running wouldn't help. If he wanted the truth, he had to go back, hang the mirror again, sleep facing it again. He needed to see more. Then needed to see more. Back at the apartment. It was already dark. Linji turned on every light, pulled the bronze mirror from the closet. Same mirror. Rust on the back, clear surface. He wiped it with his sleeve, hung it back at the headboard. Then he sat down, lights on. Didn't lie down. Sat at the edge of the bed, facing the mirror, looking at himself. His reflection looked haggard. Dark circles, bloodshot eyes. Other than that, just him, perfectly matched. Time passed. Time passed. The clock went from Qingtaomui, from Mas. Lenzi, his eyelids grew heavy. Lenzi, Kamtantinans. Bartlemembran, Nanon, Atetutsi, sit in, then be isi, then dis, let us step in the down, they go and see. Then see. Eyelids grew heavy. He fought to stay awake. Phone to stay awake. No idea how long he waited. Maybe more maybe high. His mind started to blur, his body swaying. In that half-asleep state. Then Samso. In all positions, Chengting Chengting, the Nabuchisi. Then Chengting. The mirror's image changed, slowly, like a fading photograph. Layering, the mirror darkened first. Then new light appeared, a different room. And in that room, a person, a woman. In pajamas, standing in front of the mirror. Tensei. Her movements, slow, like an old movie at Mui speed. Raising a hand. Touching her hair, turning to look behind her. Then she stopped. Her expression shifted, from lazy to confused, to alert, to fear. Her mouth opened, like she was screaming, but no sound came from the mirror. Everything silent, like a silent film. She stumbled back, hit the bed, fell. She looked up at the mirror, at Lin Zi's direction. Her eyes, pure terror, waving frantically, like signaling to someone in the mirror. Then the image vanished. The mirror returned to normal. Reflecting Lin Ji, sitting on the bed. He took a deep breath, leaned closer, scanned the mirror's surface. In the corner, a small, unremarkable dark spot. Like oxidation. And 710, licking was I was a 9 day ago oxidation. So it only does. And I needed sections. And then, but when he looked closer, It wasn't oxidation. It was writing, tiny characters, engraved on the inner rim of the frame, barely visible. Linji leaned in, character by character. Faint, crooked scratches, like done in a hurry with something sharp. 6 characters. Don't trust that person. That person. Who and what's in the case and it isn't so positive debate. That's the basic chance. The old man. Lingji stared at the words. A new thought struck him. What if the old man gave him the mirror, not to help? What if Zhang Yao got the same mirror? And she never right. She saw something in it too. And 6. Men sentently, he did it. And then she died. And then she died. The old man stressed, don't get the direction wrong. Sleep with your head facing the mirror. But what if it was the opposite? See? What if sleeping with your head facing the mirror was the problem? Sleeping with your head facing. What if the old man's advice was a trap? Once that thought surfaced, it wouldn't go away. Linji glanced at the clock. Munji glanced at the clock. He made a bold decision. Tonight, he'd do the opposite. Not head facing the mirror. But feet facing it. He wanted to see what Zhang Yao saw. He knew it was stupid. Knew this might be how Zhang Yao died. But at this point, his need for the truth outweighed his fear. He had to know, even if it was dangerous. He moved his pillow to the foot of the bed. Feet toward the mirror. So you see what's a bit recessing. Then he lay down. The mirror, above his feet at an angle. Looking up, he could see his feet and the ceiling reflected. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes. No idea how long passed. He entered that state again. Searching is about about St. John as a month where he teaches, mind awake, body frozen. But this time his eyes were open, staring at the mirror above his feet. The mirror reflected his body, feet toward the glass, head away. Everything looked the same. The same. Then he noticed a change. Not something added to the mirror, but something missing. Himself. His own body vanished from the mirror. He was lying there, should have seen his reflection. But the mirror showed only an empty bed and blanket. There was a dip in the blanket, where his body should be, but the dip was empty. Like his body existed, but was invisible to the mirror. Then he saw the dip move, lifting from the feet upward. First the feet area flattened, then the calves, then thighs. Like something invisible was pressing down on him, or something he did badly. These, crawling into the blanket. Linji watched, wide-eyed, but felt nothing. No pressure, no touch. The only sensation, cold. Extreme cold, rising from his feet, like they were in ice water. Then sound. Fingernails scraping glass, sharp, piercing, from the mirror, right by his ear. It lasted maybe 4 or 5 seconds, then stopped. The mirror image shifted again. Nelson, Sebazets, Kinsing, Estimate Marcel, Asambawaropai, reappeared, but not in the bed, in the mirror's depths, far away. A tiny figure, running toward the mirror. Then next, anticipates. Running with difficulty, like through water, movement slow. Her mouth moving, yelling something. But no sound reached him. Then she stopped. Because in the darkness behind her, something caught up. A gray-white hand, reaching from the dark, landing on her shoulder. She spun around, mouth wide open, a scream no one heard. Then the mirror went black. So, Lindsay, his body snapped back to life. He sat up, gasping, drenched in cold sweat. First thing, looked at the mirror. Still there, intact. reflecting him, pale, sweating.
表情惊恐，满头大汗。
Everything normal. Every night I bite to cease. But this time, he didn't wait till dawn. He got up, walked to the mirror, reached out,
伸出手，
grabbed its
抓住了
edge.
棱镜的边缘。
The cold glass touched his fingers. He stared into his own eyes and asked a question he never wanted answered.
这辈子最不愿意听到答案的问题。我
Is it still me?
镜子里的
Is it
没有
still
动
me?
的
His reflection didn't answer,
只是直
just
直地
stared
看着
back.
他，
Expression
表情
calm.
平静
Too
得
calm
像
for
是
someone
刚
who
经
just
历了
went
一
through
连串
that.
恐怖事件的人。
Then
然后，
his
镜子里的
reflection
他眨了
blinked.
眨眼，
Tamaru,
但
Beshinshan
明
and
知
Washi.
自己没有眨眼，
As say,
他的手松开了
come
头
on,
巾，
is
后退了一步，
Hammy Suicide, 60, as a Jithago sing Tamsinisi. Utlinji himself didn't. He let go of the mirror,
他看
backed
着挂
away,
在床
hit the
头的
wall.
那面铜
Looking at
镜，
the mirror, his
镜子里的
reflection
他还
stayed
站在
put,
原地，没有
didn't
跟着他
follow.
后退。
Still
镜子里
standing
的
at the
他站在床
bedside,
边，
arms at
双手
sides,
垂在
head
身体两
tilted,
侧，歪着头看着他，
the
嘴
corners
角
of its
慢慢
mouth
地
slowly
一
curling
点
up.
一点地往上翘。那
That
个笑
smile, smile,
跟
that
他第一
smile,
次在镜子
identical
里
to the
看到的
first
那个
time he
笑
saw
一
it.
模一样。
Then she bolted
领着
out
战
of the
士冲出卧
bedroom,
室，
out of the
冲出客
apartment,
厅，
down
闯
the
出防盗
stairs.
门，跌跌撞撞地跑下楼梯。
The
楼道
stairwell
里
lights
声
turned
红
on,
灯一层
floor
一
by
层亮
floor.
起来，他的
His
影子
shadow
被拉
stretched
长
on the
在
wall.
墙上。跑
At the
到三
third
楼
floor
方向的
landing,
时候，
he
他
glanced
下意
at
识
the
地瞥了
fire
一眼墙
extinguisher
上消
cabinet
防栓的玻
glass.
璃，
His
玻璃上
reflection in the
映着
glass.
他的影子。他
He
不确
wasn't
定
sure
自
what
己
he
看
saw,
到了什么，
didn't stop to
也没有停
confirm.
下来确认。他冲
Rushed
出
out the
楼门，
door,
跑
onto
到
the
街上。
street.
凌
Empty
晨的
street at
老街
dawn,
空无一人，
and the taste rate in that.
路
Street
灯把
lights
他的
cast
影
his
子
shadow,
留在地
long
上，
and thin.
拉得又细又长。他跑
He
到
ran
了
to the
街对面的
convenience
便利
store
店门
across
口
the
才
street,
停下来，
stopped,
弯着
bent
腰
over
大口
gasping.
喘气。
It
便
was
利店
open.
还开着，
White
白光
light
照亮门口那
illuminating
一
the
小片地
entrance.
方。他透
Through
过
the
玻璃
glass
门
door, a
看到里
female
面有
clerk
个
was
女店
stocking
员
shelves.
在柜台后面
He
站立过
hesitated,
下。
pushed the
他
door
犹豫了
open.
一下，推门走了进去。
The
4楼
automatic
门铃
door
叮咚
chimed.
响了一声，
In say, as when
女
my
店员
days,
抬
when
起
one
头
against.
说了一句欢迎光
Those
临，
and says, and he,
然后
the
继续
clerk
低
looked
头
up
整理货
welcome,
架。
then went back to work.
林
Linji
车站
stood
在
under
便
the
利店
bright
明亮
lights,
的灯光下，
his heart slowly
心
calming.
跳慢慢平复下来。便
Soft
利店
music
里放
played.
着轻音
An
乐，
endless bouncing
货
music
架整
played.
齐排列。
Neatly arranged
他
shelves.
深呼了一口
Neatly
气，
arranged
买了
shelves.
瓶水。
He exhaled, bought a bottle of
这
water.
一切都很正常。
Lames,
但
everything
当他
normal.
拿着水
But
瓶
as he
转身
turned
往
to
外
leave,
走，
passing the
经过
full
便
wall
利店
glass
门
window,
口那面整面墙的玻璃窗时，看到
the
玻璃
window
窗映
reflected
着
the
整
store
个便利
interior.
店的内部。
Interior,
货
the
架、
lights, the
灯
clerk
光、
on her phone,
柜台
and
后面
himself at the
正在低
door.
头看手机的女店员，以及站在门口的自己。
He
他
stood
站在
in
玻璃
front of the
前面，
glass,
看
looking
着
at his
自己的倒
reflection.
影。
Looking, that
倒影
his
里的他
reflection
正
looked
在看
back.
着自己，
His reflection
手
looked
里拿
back,
着水
bottle
瓶，
in hand,
表情
tired
有些疲
expression.
惫。但除此
Otherwise,
之外，
just him.
就是他自己。他
He
盯着
stared
倒
at
影
it
看
for a
了
long
很久，
time,
然
then
后他
noticed
注意到了
something.
一件事：
His
玻璃窗里
reflection,
的他
from the moment he
从
walked
走
in,
进便利店
hadn't
到现
moved.
在，一直没有动过。
He
他
had
明明
lifted
在
his
拍
arm,
手，在
drank
喝
water,
水，
turned his
在
head.
转头，但
His
玻璃里的
reflection
那个他
remained in the
从
same
头到
pose.
尾都保持着同一个姿势。那个姿
Standing,
势是站着的，
standing, hands
手
at
垂在
sides,
身体两
head
侧，
tilted, mouth
歪着
slightly
头，
curled.
嘴角微微上翘，跟卧
Exactly
室
like his
铜镜里
reflection
那
in
个
the
他的
bedroom
姿
mirror.
势一模
Identical,
一样。
identical. The
拎
water
着
bottle
手里的
slipped,
水瓶掉
water
在地
spilled.
上，水洒了一地。
The
女店
clerk
员
looked
抬
up,
起头，
puzzled at the
疑
young
惑地
man
看着
frozen
这
at
个
the
半夜
door,
来买东西的
staring
年
at the
轻人，
glass.
站在门口一动不动地盯着玻璃窗。先
Sir,
生，
are you
您
okay?
没事吧？
Her
女店
voice
员的
came from
声音从
behind.
身后传
Her
来。
voice came from behind.
林
Linji
哲缓
slowly
缓地
turned,
转过头，
opened his mouth to
看着
speak,
女店员，张开嘴想说些什么，
but
但
he
他发
didn't
现
know how to
自己
say
不
it.
知道该怎么说，
Where
该
to
从哪里
begin,
说起，
how to describe
该
this in
怎
normal
样用正
language.
常的语言描
Said
述他正
what?
在经历的一
Um,
切。沉
After a
默
few
了几秒
seconds of
钟之后，
silence,
他听到
Mani
自己用
Maltum
一种
Banjur did that,
连他
he
自
heard
己
himself
都觉得
ask,
陌生
in a
的
tone that even he found
平静
strange.
过了头的
Tucom,
语气问了一
Tucom,
句
it's a
话
magazine some paid
请
sentis,
问
Simamos in an is.
你看
I'm
到
going
的
to say,
我
John
是
Culquish.
正常的？
Excuse me, 3年
女店
to the
员
guy
愣了
that
一
yeah.
下，
What you see of me. What you see of me. Is it normal? The clerk paused, then laughed. You're joking, right? You're standing right there. Perfectly normal. But as she said it, her gaze drifted to the glass. She looked at the reflection of the man at the door. How the... Her smile froze. Harsh eye froze.
但他什么
And
都
someone
没
in
说。
the name plate, but his team say to the TV, section D to the active good sentiments. She said nothing.
他已经不需
Dai
要了。
wasn't it and
林
says,
哲捡起
this
地上
is
的水瓶，
Valakalin. Then she saw her expression change. Louis Asinavi, the sin by at
凌
say
晨的
this
冷风
as
迎面扑
nothing.
来。
I game when
他
we
站在
sing
便利
you
店
shall
门
we
口的
say.
灯光下，
Sight, he didn't
仰
need
头
to.
看着对面的
Linji
邻居
picked up the
民谣。
bottle, said thank you,
5
pushed
楼
the
那扇
door and
窗户
walked
亮
out.
着灯，
Many days,
他
the
刚才
cold
爬
dawn
梯来
air
的
hit
时候
him.
没关灯。
The cold dawn
灯
air
光
hit
很
him.
亮，
He stood under
在
the store
漆黑的
lights,
整栋楼
looked
里
at the
格外
building
扎眼。
across the street. Fifth floor,
他看了很
lights
久，
on.
然
Sixth
后把
floor,
水瓶
he'd
扔
left
进
them
门
on.
口的垃圾
Right,
桶，
standing out
双手
against the
插
dark
兜，
building.
慢
He
慢
stared.
走过了
He
门。
stared, then tossed the bottle
他
in the
没有
trash,
跑，
hands in
没有
pockets,
慌张，
crossed the street,
一
no
步一
running,
步地
no
走
panic.
回了那
Step
栋
by
楼。
step, back to the
楼道
building.
里的
The
声控灯
stairwell
再次
lights
亮起
came
来，
on again.
他
He
跟
climbed
自
with
己
his
的影子
shadow.
一起上楼。
Floor
一层
1, 2, 3, 4,
两
as
层
percentas.
三层
Only
四层五
5.
层，
Supper is an able to
他站在
anxious
自己家的
such
门
an
口，
binary GD.
防盗
Sing
门
that,
还敞开
mal
着，
be chi. He
客
stood
厅
at
的
his
灯还
door.
亮着，
Looked like Ben Sam.
电视
That's
不
how
知
name
道什么
light.
时候被打
But
开，
I see some men
正
sings
放
in
着
the
深夜
oh
新闻。
DT. And mal, and
卧
I
室里
says,
的灯也亮
Nemo.
着，
That you get
铜
away
镜
at
还
our
挂在
base and
床
the
头的
tell
墙
King
上。
As
林
them
哲走
to
进卧室，
sings.
站在铜镜前
Henry
面，
Macy's.
看着
Dead at
镜
his
子里
door.
的自
The
己。
legend. Still ajar.
镜子里
Living
的
room
两个
light
人
on.
面对
The
面
TV
站
was
着，
on. Playing
保
late
持着
night
进门
news.
时的姿
Bedroom
势，
light on.
没有动，
Mirror still on the wall.
嘴角还
Linji
是
walked
微
in,
微翘
stood
着。
in front of the mirror, looking at
林哲
himself.
盯着他
His
看了很
reflection
久，
stood facing him,
然后
still
说了
as
一
when
句
he
话，
entered, mouth slightly
知道你
curled.
在里面。
Mouth slightly curled.
镜
Linji
子里的
stared for a
灯没
long
有关
time,
的。
then said, Sinyabi
林
dip
哲
and
继续说，
Sinyabi
江
Zifun
瑶也
Mong
在这
Mike
里面，
Churishins
对吧？
Others and said, I know you're in
那
there.
个老头给你们
So,
每一个
I
人
know
都
you're
画
in
了
there.
铜镜，
His reflection
告
didn't
诉你们
answer.
投出的
Linji
镜子是。
continued. Jiang Yao was in there too.
但真正的方
Right?
法不
The
是
old
这
man
样，
gave each of you a mirror,
这个铜镜
told you
不
to
是
sleep
保
with
护
your
式
head
的，
facing it. But that
是
wasn't
把
the
你们
real
关进
method.
来的通道。
This mirror doesn't protect
老头的
anyone.
诊
It's
所
a
只开
passage
着，
to trap you
只接待
inside.
你们
The
这
old
些人，
man's clinic only
就
served
是
people
在
like you.
筛选。
He was filtering.
他
He
把
gave
铜
a
镜
mirror
给
to
了江
Jiang
瑶，
Yao. She
江
followed
瑶照做，
instructions.
然
Then
后
she
他
died
死
on
在
that
了这
bed.
张床上。
Zinzi died on that
他把
bed.
铜
He
镜给
gave me
了
a
我，
mirror. I followed it
我
too.
也照做了。
Sing it is.
然后
And
我
I
开始
started
看到
seeing
那些东
things
西，直
until
到
I
我也出
appeared
现
in
在
the
镜
mirror
子里，
too.
跟
With
你们
all
在
of
一
you.
起。
His
镜
reflection
子里的
still
灯
didn't
还
move.
是没有动，但
But
镜
somewhere
子
deep
深
in
处
the
的某个
mirror,
地方，
something
有什么
shifted.
东西变了一下，很
Subtle.
细微，
Subtle. Like
像是
light
光
briefly
线被什么
blocked,
东西
then
短暂的
restored.
遮了一下，又恢复了。
Ling
林
Ji
哲笑了
smiled.
一下，
Ling Ji smiled.
那
A
个
weak
笑容
smile.
很无力，
A weak smile.
他
The
有一
exhaustion
种
of
终于
finally
看明白
understanding,
了，
but being
没有
unable to
什么
change
都改变
anything.
不了的疲惫。
Teams, the
但我跟
exhaustion
江
of
瑶不
finally.
一样，
And this ambo
他
attention
说
copies.
我
Sensimals.
不打算跑，
The voice of it. So on
跑
valley
也没用，
understanding.
对
But
吗？
being unable to change
不
anything.
管我
But
跑到哪，
undifferent from Zhang Yao.
便利
And
店、
he said,
旅
I'm
馆、
not going to
马
run.
路上，
I'm not going to run.
镜
Running's
子里的人
useless.
永远在那
Right.
里。
No matter where I go.
他已
I
经不
go.
是我
A
的道具，
Senintantang. Convenience
他
stores.
是你们的，
Motels. Streets. The person in the
是
mirror
这
will
个镜
always
子
be
里
there.
所有人的集合。
The person in the mirror will always
你
be
们把我
there.
拉进
He's
来
not
之
my
后就没
reflection
打算放我
anymore.
出去。
Let's just say
他伸
I'd
出
see
手，
Daytans.
摸到了
Hante
铜
come
镜的
physical
边缘，
Pisan. So I was,
镜
he's
里冰
yours.
凉。
The collection of everyone in this mirror.
那我就不出去
Don
了。
Sungting. Once you
他说
pulled me in, you never
他用
planned to
手
let
指
me
敲
out.
了敲
He
镜
reached
面，
out, touched the
噔噔，
mirror's edge. Cold.
两
So
声，
can't he say?
镜
Then
子
I
深
won't
处
go out. He said.
黑暗了。
In my way ones
江
seems
瑶的
Tracy
脸浮现了
humans.
出来，
It's a batch of
就在他
Homikins.
自己的脸后面，
And Zyrus
隔着
and
那层
Billy
玻璃。
tissue. So many tension with
他
it, you
看起
wouldn't
来
see?
跟3年前那
Handy.
张自
I'll
拍里
blow
一
you.
样年轻，
Let's say enter the
表
exit
情平
says.
静，
He tapped the
不再
glass.
尖叫。
He tapped the
不再
glass.
拍打
One
镜面，
tap. One Santic
他
and
只
was
是
your back
静
so.
静地看
Guy
着
from
镜
ski
面，
wrong, she did you want to man.
然后他冲
Not
他
too
低
good
头
to be
面
too
跑，
much, didn't say. Wait,
铜
this.
镜的边框
That's
内
in
侧
Then ti senti insomniated, fantômas, arabacında, tu, açmansa malbolisimus, hastings and penances, Iena, this antibiotic passadarach, in the mirror's depths. Silly saw agency, to bake up the darkness, Jiang Yao's face appeared. Behind his own face, separated by the glass, she looked as young as in the photo. May, expression calm, no screaming, no pounding, just quietly watching Linji. Then she nodded at Ini as this, the engraving on the inner rim, still there. Counselor say, don't trust that person. But Lindsay no longer needed warnings. He took the mirror off the wall, held it to his chest, walked out the door. He carried it down the stairs, to the dumpster, placed it inside. Then he crouched by the dumpster, hands over his face. In the cold dawn, he wept silently. Not from fear, from exhaustion, the kind that comes from finally understanding everything. But realizing it's too late, near sunrise, he stood up, dusted off his pants, went back upstairs, shut the door, turned off the TV, turned off all the lights, but he didn't enter the bedroom. But he didn't enter the bedroom. He sat on the couch all night. He sat on the couch all night, watching the sky go from black to gray to white. So watching the set. Watching the sky. I doubt say wins. This is in as they submit that. This is the white to gray to white to gray to white to gray to white to guide listening to the vendors set up. The city waking up. Then he called his landlord, said he was moving out. Keep the deposit. Would pick up his stuff in a couple days. The landlord asked why. He didn't explain, just said he changed jobs. Too far. The landlord didn't press. He'd seen it before. Linji signed a new lease that day. Across town. A 20-floor elevator building. Security at the entrance. Hallway lights always on. 7 or 8 units per floor. Thin walls. Could hear the couple next door arguing at night. So arguing at night. Lindsay strangely found that comforting. People all around. All kinds of noise. Not alone. Mike's asserting sound on singles and unsatisfied. Lucas and big internet at TNC. The Titan Town Marana. Outgoing, the kitty. In his new place, he hung no mirrors, took down the medicine cabinet mirror, replaced it with wood, gave his full-length mirror to the neighbor. Even his phone screen, when it cracked, he bought a matte screen protector to reduce reflection. He told himself, it's psychological. New place, new mindset, it'll pass. But some things don't change. The first few nights, he slept decently. Probably just exhaustion. Mind and body at their limit. He'd pass out instantly. He thought he'd made it, that it was over. He even started rebuilding his materialist world, mentally reviewing the whole thing. Sleep paralysis, stress, old building, Jiang Yao's info. Maybe he'd seen it on a bulletin board without realizing. The mirror, just a placebo. Every piece made sense. Every piece had a scientific explanation. He packed this experience into a box labeled stress-induced temporary hallucinations. Locked it away. But about a week later, he woke in the middle of the night. That familiar clarity. Eyes won't open, body won't move. But his mind was racing. His heart rate spiked. He thought he was done. Thought he'd escaped. Besaru was done, thought he'd escaped. But the moment it returned, his body reacted faster than his mind. Every cell screaming the same thing. It's still here. He tried to calm down. Told himself not to panic. Just sleep paralysis. He'd had it before. Relax. Wait for it to pass. He counted in his head, 1 second at a time, waiting for the force to fade. Then he heard a sound. A page turning. Rustle, rising to the 1 page. 1 page. Pause. Another page. Another page. Slow rhythm. In the end, as what Brutus it was. United States, always your plan say, Sajin Designate Canada. Unminimally the boy besats, Lu. Slowly the themselves sometimes, like someone leisurely reading a book. My wife's boot Lindsay heard it clearly. Sinem Kadisame, the Dise, coming from his living room, and his living room was empty. He lives alone. Obsessed, he lives fainty, he soon clangs, the page turning stopped. The page turning stopped, then footsteps, light. Like your son white enough to watching Nasi. This is and seemed desires, like bare feet on wood. I exploit these simple as my pencil, his answer letting out my step by step. Soon see team, send my agony from the living room. Danes, from the living room to the bedroom door, a baby seat sense. Following Singaso, and say sensitive no, find it and cities. The same would know piper mothers. What about what gabs to can she did. The dame she seen is, at eats, says. I see my apple, stopped. That says, aside the base Nandini has succeeded. Linji lay frozen, eyes wide, staring at the door. The handle didn't move. Then moved fantasm. The door didn't open. Something stood silently on the other side. 93 centimeters of wood between them, after who knows how long. Things light leaked back through the door gap. Sorry soon, footsteps again. Footsteps again, this time, moving away, step by step, from the bedroom door back to the living room. Then gone. Linji could finally move. He sat up, turned on the bedside light. Nothing in the bedroom. He got up, walked to the door, hand on the handle, counted 3 seconds, pulled it open. Living room light on. I'd been found this. 就这么一听，送对，the next day, same as so. That is the
不再在镜子里
Paralysis. His jacket and remote on the
现在
couch.
更安静了，
This used to be monsoon teas.
安静的
She
待在
say
客厅
it's
里
a been
翻他的
play
杂志，
will be same
安
day.
静的站在门外
And the
透
remote
过
on the
门
couch.
缝看
Half a
他，
glass of cold water on the
像一个
table.
安安
Everything
静静的
normal
室友。
this time. No
而
screaming.
林
No
哲发
running.
现
No running.
自
He
己
knew
竟
that
然
thing.
开始有点
In
习惯。
incessant
好了，
medicines.
咱们今天就到这儿。
Whatever it was,
说
Lennox
句实在
Fatigue
话，
was still there.
鬼压
Sim
床这
Shimon
事儿，
body se
我
seemed
身
to
边的
present
亲
my
戚
game.
朋友十
But
个
he
里
makes
面
some
得有
many
6、
several
7个
pussy
经
who
历过。
could bear that I might.
医学解释
And
很
that
完
number
善，
she is
很科
had
学，
me to dish
很
my
让人放
so
心。
sishi shokas Amanda Ticey.
但老曹想说的是，
With Sim Dodge, it had
下次
followed
你
him
再
to the
遇到
new
那种
place.
动不了的感
From
觉的
old
时候，
city to new city.
别光想着大脑醒了，身体没跟
I
上这
moved
句套话。
across half the city.
你
It
仔细
hadn't
感受一下，
disappeared. It's appeared.
压
It
在
just
你身
changed
上
its
的那个
approach.
重量，
It just seems, as
它
I
有
says
没有
and
问题？
senses it, that it will
你后
demote
面
out
格子后
seekers
面
today. When
有
it
没有
is
一
out.
股不属于你自己的呼吸？
But we sense my basi.
如果都没有，
As it changed its
那恭喜
approach, no more chest
你
pressure,
就是压
no
力太
ankle
大了，
pulling, no smiling from the
好好休息。
mirror. The
但
that
如
is
果
inmate the next guess. I will
我是说
this
如
is
果
him down to you. To know about
你
that.
感觉到了什么不太
No
对劲的
sights,
东西，
crazy, no
别慌
ankle pulling, no
你可以
smiling
去
from the
忍
mirror.
着，
Now it was
开灯水，
quieter, quietly
少照镜
flipping
子，
through his magazines in the living
这里
room.
1%，
Sue,
他们
quietly
是一点
standing
点松
outside the
手，
door,
然后
watching him through the
该干
crack,
嘛干嘛。
like a quiet roommate.
我是老
Miss
曹，
Saint since
大家
they
晚
kitchen
安。
babblesmo, and Linji realized. Then Bonka parents, she won't go to me some more, and be him. Then it ain't the deacona. Then she said that's a he was starting to get used to it. Alright, let's stop here for today. Honestly, heterotype symptom and juice, sleep paralysis. I'd say 6 or 7 out of 10 people I know have experienced it. Medical explanations are solid, scientific, reassuring. But here's what Lau Kao wants to say. Next time you're stuck, don't just default to brain woke up, body didn't. Pay attention. Nice. Vaccine seems to say that says the weight on you. So when I tell me what's the one on the does it have temperature? Is there a breath on the back of your neck? Not your own. If not, congratulations. Congratulations. You're just stressed. Get some rest. But if, Luis, I say Avanzoa, I say to Astros and Cynics, you feel something off, don't panic. You can do what Linji did. Sleep with the lights on. Avoid mirrors. Keep a little respect for that 1%. Then go about your business. This is Lau Kao. Good night, everyone.